3 decades ago, the master of horror writing Stephen King published one of his greatest works under the thrilling name It. The story unfolds in a fictional town where a shape-shifting predatory monster, referred to as Pennywise the Dancing Clown or simply It, lurks in the sewers and storm drains, silently terrorizing the locals. Pennywise certainly is the most memorable character, both in the novel and in the movie. The image of the devilish clown has infiltrated the nightmares of children and adults. It has been remembered through the years as a prototype of the creepy clown and might have opened a new chapter of fears in the life of modern society. Recently, you may have stumbled upon the term coulrophobia, and the chances are that you will come across it more often with the approaching release of the 2017 remake of Stephen King's It. The term coulrophobia stands for persistent and irrational fear of clowns. Although this phobia is not officially accepted as a disorder, recent events such as the clown craze in Europe and America, and the mass discontent of professional clowns against the evil clown persona promoted by Stephen King's novel indicate that more scientific research is needed on the topic. Many people believe that the intense fear of clowns is actually a media-influenced phobia. Experts claim that there is no literature on it from before the 1980s, which ironically was at the same time as Stephen King's It and the arrest of John Wayne Gacy, also known as the Killer Clown, a serial killer who appeared at children's birthday parties as Pogo the Clown and buried most of his victims in the crawl space of his suburban Chicago home. Following the success of Stephen King's It and the craze around the terrifying real-life killer clown, Hollywood exploited our deep ambivalence about clowns through a variety of movies: Poltergeist, All Hallows Eve, The Dark Knight Rises, and many more. It's not hard to see how the connection between clowns and dangerous psychopathic behavior became forever fixed in the collective unconscious of people. Even though the media might be to blame for perpetuating the creepy clown image, the real reason might be rooted deeper in our unconscious. Although the scientific research on the topic is insufficient, one of the main hypotheses about the massive dislike of clowns is the so-called uncanny valley effect, a term first coined by the Japanese roboticist Masahiro Mori. Actually, the uncanny as a psychological concept could be traced back to Freud's essay Das Unheimliche. Freud described the uncanny as something that is strangely familiar, yet bizarre. Something that simultaneously attracts, but also repulses, thus creating cognitive dissonance within the experiencing subject. The uncanny valley effect, however, extends this idea depicting a valley of negative emotional response caused by things that look human, but aren't quite there. Mori hypothesized that to a certain point, likability levels increase with increasing human resemblance. As characters become more human than mechanical, however, they begin to be perceived as frankly unlikable, evoking a feeling of unease and even disgust among viewers. Finally, as characters become nearly human, likability sharply rebounces to a final positive ending point. This theory has been used to predict humans' reactions mainly towards robots and 3D computer animated characters, but it could easily be related to clowns as well. Clown faces differ in very elaborate ways from what we consider normal. The huge painted-on smiles, the vivid colors, the greatly exaggerated eyes, all of these characteristics combine to provide a recognizable human face, but then again, it isn't quite right. And that is disturbing many people on an unconscious level. Researchers have not reached a consensus on the cause of this reaction to the uncanny. According to Mori, anything that looks deviated from the norm is perceived by our brains as pathogenic. As human beings, we are biologically wired to avoid sickness and anyone who appears sick. And although this idea has not been confirmed, it's the most plausible so far. When talking about coulrophobia, we should consider that there are important factors other than the uncanny valley effect that determine how we feel about a given character. According to Rami Nader, a Canadian psychologist who studies coulrophobia, this particular phobia might be fueled by the fact that clowns wear makeup and disguises that hide their true identities and feelings. The facial disguise temporarily eliminates from social interaction the most expressive part of the body, the part through which the individual's personal feelings and attitudes are revealed. It might be this inherent ambiguity around clowns what makes them creepy. They seem to be happy, but are they really? Their behavior seems friendly, but is also very unpredictable. You never know if you're about to get a pie in the face. We should be constantly on guard when in the company of a clown. Other researchers also claim that getting creeped out is a response to the ambiguity of a situation. It is only when we are confronted with uncertainty about a possible threat that we get the chills. If you think about it, being creeped out could actually be adaptive. maybe it's something humans have evolved to feel as a way of maintaining alertness in a situation that could be dangerous. But don't worry, clowns are harmless. At least, most of them. To sum up, although Stephen King's It is the first thing that comes to mind when contemplating the roots of your fear of clowns, always consider that there could be something more to it. The mainstream media is not going to do this for you. What about you guys? Are you afraid of clowns? If so, are you tracing this fear to it? Feel free to share any clown related stories in the comments below. If you enjoyed our video, consider subscribing to our channel for a monthly dose of science. See you soon.